Hello to our 911 and first responder partners. My name is John Park, and I am the Communication Center Manager for Classic Air Medical and Portneuf Air Rescue. And I'm just showing you a quick demonstration of our new FlightCall app. This is going to be kind of a quick and dirty demo just to give you a quick idea of the features in case you're considering using it with your agency, or if you've heard from another agency that they're using it, kind of what it's all about. So the entire program is based off of a website. So you can access this from the web, which is what we recommend doing for your 911 dispatchers, or it can be downloaded as an app through iOS or Android, and we recommend this for your first responders. So many of you already have tablets or iPhones that are department issued that you can take with you on call. This gives you a tool to both launch a helicopter directly or to track the status of an already ordered helicopter. So really quick, the biggest benefit of this, and this is kind of the major reason why I think you'll see benefit in your department. In the profile here, you can see I can link up multiple agencies. So right now, my FlightCall app is looking at Bannock County 911, Bannock County Ambulance, and Pocatello Police Department. If any of these agencies launch a helicopter, all of these agencies will see it. So this is kind of a big deal for your mutual aid, or if you have areas where, say, a county sheriff happens to be the first on scene and EMS needs to come in and see it later, or if your dispatcher launches it, but there's multiple agencies or even neighboring dispatches. So like in this case, Pocatello Police Department and Bannock County 911 are neighboring 911 agencies. They often respond together on calls. So if either side needs to launch a helicopter, both sides see it and both sides can get that information to their unit. So from the main screen here, this just shows recent calls. I just did another test video, so there's a recent call up there. Active calls is how you can see your neighbors' calls. Flight call is how we'll actually launch the app. There's also, we have a little educational calendar in here. It's not active at the moment, but we can put our CE things that we do out there in your communities so that you can participate with us if there's a class that's of interest to you or your organization. Hospital directory is a one-touch way to contact a hospital directly through your iPhone if you need to. Landing zone guide. This is just a quick and dirty landing zone guide. So if you guys have, new officers, new paramedics, or people who are not used to landing a helicopter, just a quick reminder of how to set up an LZ for us. And then that's it. This is the call to dispatch button. Anytime you hit this on an iPhone or a tablet, it will contact our dispatch directly. It'll use the phone inside the system. So let's make a quick flight call so you can see what this is about. So I'm going to go ahead and just punch in my PIN. And we're off the races. So that's going to start with my house. We're going to go ahead and just use Lava Hot Springs up here in Idaho as our test location. So I'm going to zoom in here, and we'll say that there's a wreck right at this overpass here, Center Street on State Road 30. So double clicking drops the pin. This is another big deal for us, at least in the communication side, because now we don't have to transpose coordinates. We don't have to worry about incompatible formats. What we have here is exactly what we need. All the digits are done by the computer, so there's no human error in the person giving the coordinates or the person hearing the coordinates. We're going to get to the right spot every time. So now we can click call for flight. And we'll say that this is Bannock County 911 who's calling. The agency's already put in, the coordinates are put in, the address is already put in. If you guys happen to have the weight, that's very helpful for us for planning fuel. Otherwise, we just have the notes. So best practices, if you're going to have an officer or an EMS do it, just put your unit number, your call sign, so that we know who it is that launched this. Or if it's going to be the dispatch center, you don't need to worry about that. So I'm just going to write test in here just so that we know it's a test on our communication center's end. And we'll just say this is going to be a rollover. 3 patients. That's all we know at this point, right? So we'll send it. This has any other unit turned it down the request? This is really important for us to know if we happen to be in an area where we might be your second or third in. If the first in turned it down for weather in the air community, we definitely want to know those things because at the end of the day, we all want to be safe. So that's the only thing that we ask on that. If you happen to know that, make sure to click that, and then we confirm flight call. So now on the back end, this is submitting it through the internet to our CAD system. So it submitted the request. As soon as our computer recognizes that it's there, we're going to see a quick pop-up that says it's been received by dispatch. That should happen here any moment. There we go. So now the dispatcher is currently assigning the asset that we want to send. So in this case, it's going to be Port Med 1 as our closest helicopter. So once they go ahead and copy the notes in, they've now assigned it. Now our GPS system is locating the physical position of that helicopter. So this is really key too. This isn't a boilerplate thing. If the helicopter's coming back from another call, if it happens to be flying in that area, we'll know the exact coordinates and you'll know the exact coordinates of where it's at and how long until it can get to where you are. So once it has the location on it, it's going to go ahead and pop up a map for us. By the way, at any time, if this you needed to cancel the request, it can be canceled here, or you can one-touch call our dispatch here as well. This last step always takes just a minute or so, just because it takes a minute for the GPS to kind of pinpoint the location of the helicopter. There we go. So now it's over here on the pad at Portneuf Hospital, and it shows a line to where the call is. You can see down here we have our ETE. That's the estimated time en route. We should be 21 minutes until we get there. Transposes that into a time for you for an estimated time of arrival. The tail number of the bird that's going to be coming, and then once we get flying, it'll show you how many minutes we've already been in flight. So 3 minutes along the way. This will say 3, and this should cut down to 18 minutes. And now here's another big game changer for you. So let's say that this was the initial area of where the call was, but your officer or your medic has arrived, and it turns out it was actually over here at the KOA, the road, the turnoff to the KOA here. You can change pickup point, drop the new one, and confirm, and then we now have it back on our end. The pickup point's been updated, and the helicopter can change coordinates there. One last big feature that's really nice is you can contact with us 2 ways. You can obviously call us, or we have kind of a text messaging thing in here. So we'll say that in this case, the officer has arrived. They confirmed that there's 3 patients and 1 patient's echo. So they could say 3 patients, 1 echo, 1 delta, 1 alpha. We'll say. I don't know if you guys use that terminology. That just is basically the severity. We have 1 patient who's dead, 1 who's in critical condition, and 1 who's kind of a walking wounded. So we'll go ahead and send that. And that message now on our end is popping up on our console. And as soon as our dispatcher sees it, they'll go ahead and copy the message, and you'll know that it's been received. So we should see that here any moment. We can also close back out of this. It'll pop up a little notice here. One thing to note, we will never contact you directly through this unless you've already contacted us through it first. If we need anything, whether it was your ground units or your dispatch, we're going to contact your dispatcher to let them know of any updates unless you've already utilized this button. So see, we're here, we got copy, thank you for the update. That's great. Now we might, if we already know you're using this, we might try to contact you through that. Otherwise, we will go through your dispatch. So that's about it for the flight. If at this point, maybe you got here and let's say instead of those patient conditions, it was a no big deal, you just needed to cancel us, click cancel. Done. We are off the grid. We are returning to base if we haven't lifted. You can also notice when you launch, there's also the standby. So if you just want us on standby or if you want us for a flight, either of those can easily be done. None of this took any phone calls, and everybody was on the same page. So we hope that this will work for your agency. Again, the cost of this whole service is free. We have the apps online. We've already paid for it. All we need to do is kind of help you go through the setup process to make sure we have it, have you set up in our system properly and that you're linked to the appropriate agencies. And other than that, we're good to go. If you are in need of tablets or a device to put this on, I'd recommend you contact me directly with your needs. My phone number is 801-309-5053, and my email is, actually, I'll just put this on the screen here. I'll just put it all up on the screen. There's my contact information, and if you need to get any of those things, contact me directly, and we'll see what we can do to help you out. Otherwise, I hope this answers any questions you might have about our app, and we look forward to working with you. Thanks for all you do for us.